Hello, beautiful Patreon family. What a joy it is to share this oracle deck with you. This one is the Moonology deck by Yasmin Boland. So we're really getting into the astrological stuff with this deck, as well as the oracle card forecast for the week ahead. So without further ado, let's begin. I want to start by utilizing, what kind of words am I using here? I want to take a look at the Aries card. This card is the forecast for Aries for the week ahead. Oops, mucked things up. Step out of your comfort zone, Aries. Do you know what? I'm going to pause this because I'm going to adjust the view on the screen. Hang on. You may not actually notice a difference there. I'll keep adjusting. That's hopefully better and hopefully it stays. Okay. The card, step out of your comfort zone, North Node. What a perfect card for the week ahead when we're having activation of an eclipse by the North Node. Very, very timely to start off with this one. So, Aries, there is a strong feeling when you get this card that it's time to leave the past behind somehow, because you are headed in the right direction. If you want to be happy and fulfilled, you need to get going towards doing the thing that scares you, within reason. This card is all about living your life purpose, which is possibly what you've asked about. It's urging you to dare to do something different with your life and your direction. It's urging you to take action. So are you willing to follow through and lead the life you incarnated to live, Aries? If you finally find the courage to make the leap, there's a good chance you'll come to ask yourself, why did I wait so long? How can we attune to the moon? We can do this by, it says, attune to the moon. I know I'm headed in the right direction, so I guess that would be the mantra for this card. The additional meanings for this card is that you're headed for something which feels like destiny. You need to face a fear and get over it. It's time to stop obsessing about someone or something. Stand on your own 2 feet. And you have got this, Aries. The teaching with the North Node is that the North Node is where the moon crosses the ecliptic going north. It's a karmic point, and on the horoscope, it shows us what we need to do and where we need to go to fulfill our life in terms of satisfaction and happiness. The North Node is the karmic astrological point that reminds us, to paraphrase Andre Gide, that in order to discover new oceans, we have to be prepared to lose sight of the shore. Very poetic metaphor there. Thank you, Aries. Now, Taurus rising, sun or moon. We have the energy for you this week is the full moon in Virgo card. Let me just find it in my book. You are good enough, Taurus. It's time to be really honest with yourself and understand what's led you to ask your question. Have you been humble to the point of being self-effacing? Humility is good, but it can go too far, and drawing this card might suggest that Taurus has been underrating themselves. You don't have to be flashy, just quietly certain that you are good enough. And at the end of the other scale, you also need to honestly answer this question. Have you been too picky? The full moon in Virgo card needs some truthful answers. Once you've given them, it should be easier to see how you got where you are. Your next step should then be more obvious to you. Pay attention to the details. Hard work brings results. And the additional meanings for this card, worrying too much will attract more things to worry about. Have you been overly critical, Taurus? An apology might be in order. Stop second-guessing yourself. Raise your karma by doing something good for someone else. The teaching with this card, the full moon in Virgo is a time to declutter your life, your home, and your office. It's the time to sort what's good in your life from what's not serving you. It's also the time to clear out your energies via salt baths and meditations, and to practice getting more grounded by walking barefoot. No matter when you draw this card, it's a reminder that any time is a good time to start living a healthier life. All right, third card off the rank, and this is Gemini. Hold your vision card, the card of the fixed moon. Let me find this particular reading. Bear with me. Sorry, my beautiful people. So we have the Hold Your Vision card. There are two main possibilities with this card, Gemini. The first is that you need to stand firm in whatever situation you're in. The second, very different interpretation, is that something is stuck. That could well be referring to the situation you're asking about. If that's the case, have a think about what you can do to grease the wheels so that events move forward. Are you being stubborn? If so, that's great, because if you really want things to change, there's a solution. Stop digging your heels in. Be the one to break the deadlock. With two interpretations for this card, it's up to you to decide what's going on and which meaning applies to you. Very Gemini to have two options. This offers up a chance for some self-reflection. And the additional meanings for this card, staying power, faith, or patience are what's needed. Somebody needs to back down. Avoid stagnation. A personal or professional relationship will be enduring. And the teaching with this card, in astrology, there are three quadruplicities: cardinal, fixed, and mutable. The fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, and the fixed signs can be stubborn. So anything that's just starting as you draw this card may well last longer. Remember, we each have all the star signs in our chart. It's just the way the astrological wheel works, so there's no judgment when we say that while it's admirable how much staying power the fixed signs have, they can also be obstinate. There's shadow and light in everything, as we know. So that's for Gemini. And now looking at Cancer. Cancer energy. Now this is for the sun, moon, or rising signs. It's also pertinent if you happen to have a stellium in the sign of Cancer. So we're looking at the full moon in Pisces. Getting my little book open. Oh my goodness, there's sticky pages today. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. Have you been so head in the clouds that you've lost touch with reality? If so, take this card as a sign that you need to pay attention and make a concerted effort to move towards your goal. The more practical steps you can take, the better. It's time to find an inner balance between your responsibilities and your dreams. Meditate on your question, and the solutions to your issue may now come through very clearly. If you're in a tricky situation because you've been acting the martyr, this card will be a message from the cosmos to drop the act for everyone's sake. The additional meanings for this card, you are in a super romantic but not super realistic state. Follow your intuition. It won't let you down now. At worst, this card can herald the end of a dream. And the person you're inquiring about for you will be a soulmate. Finally, avoid substance abuse. Can I just say I am so sick of that analogy of substance abuse with Pisces. It is not always the case that Pisces, Neptune, 12th house energy will bring substance abuse. There are other triggers for that as well. Sorry, the astrologer in me just gets a bit shirty about that. Very protective of my Pisces. It's a very Cancer behaviour, isn't it? To be protective of something, you know, very motherly instinct. You can't harm my Pisces. And I have a stellium in Cancer. So the teaching with this card is Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So the full moon in Pisces symbolically marks endings. When the moon is full in Pisces, or whenever you pull this card, it's a time to dive deep into your emotions. Practicality is at odds with the numinous Pisces energies that have no borders. So feel your way now. Psychic ability is heightened when the full moon is in Pisces, and soulmates now connect. It's also a time to send out your dreams to the universe, releasing your fears. Beautiful Cancer energy, or Pisces energy for Cancer people. Okay, look at this. We've got for Leo people, there's the North Node for Aries. We've got the South Node for our Leo Sun, Moon, Rising, or Stellium people. Don't let your past hold you back. The South Node, like the North Node, is a karmic point, but it's opposite to the North Node and relates to the past, perhaps even to past lives. Whatever you're going through and whatever you're asking about, there's a chance that age-old programming and conditioning is stopping you from achieving all that you might. Do you feel stuck in something? This card will often come as a sign that a situation or relationship you're asking about has somehow become suffocating, even toxic. It suggests that someone, maybe even you, needs to be released, and that there's some kind of addiction going on or an unhealthy attachment that needs to be sorted out. One thing is for sure, when you get this card, you're being challenged to make some changes, even if staying where you are feels easier and safer. The additional meanings for this card are: a relationship is karmic and has played out across many lifetimes. Your attraction to someone may be verging on the obsessive. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. And the teaching with the South Node card for Leo people is that the South Node is where the moon crosses the ecliptic going south. In the horoscope chart, it shows us what we are likely to become obsessed with, but which will probably do us little or no good. The South Node is the karmic astrological point that reminds us of the well-known phrase, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Very interesting. All right. For Virgo people, Virgo rising, Virgo sun, Virgo moon, and if you're a stellium in Virgo, it's for you too. We've got the full moon in Cancer. Full moon in Cancer energy is a personal issue reaches resolution. Things are likely to get very heated as full moon in Cancer is a super emotional sign. So there could be something of an explosion of feelings around now or surrounding your question. It's important to be sensitive to other people when you pull this card. There are some very fine sensibilities around, so tread carefully as you move towards your goals and dreams. This card indicates an especially feminine time. It also heralds the time to deal with any family issues coming up. Nothing to worry about, it signals a challenge is now coming to an end. This card also suggests both that a domestic matter or a private issue will soon come to a head, and that it's a great time to move house. The answer to your question lies in being a kind leader. This is the time for you to step up and agree to overcome your insecurities. The additional meanings for this card: meditate to soothe heightened emotions. Don't be so clingy. Stop sulking. Have you had enough family time lately? The teaching with this card is the heightened emotions of the Moon-Cancer combination can't be ignored. However, Cancer is one of the Moon's two home signs along with Taurus, so astrologically speaking, the Moon loves to be in this sign. In fact, she rules Cancer. This means that with this card, there's a sense that all is as it should be, or don't worry, all will soon be well. Moving along, we're going to take a look for Aries. Not Aries, what am I talking about? The opposite of Aries, it's actually Libra. Libra, rising, sun, moon, people. This is the new moon in Leo card. And a gorgeous card, this one. Confidence is your key to success. This card heralds the start of a new cycle for you, when you're going to look and feel more gorgeous, more in the spotlight, more like you have something worth showing off. If you want someone's attention, this card says it's coming. However, this may not happen all by itself. You have to be willing to do your bit. That means being proud of who you are and what you have to offer. Think of yourself as the king or queen of the jungle and carry yourself accordingly. This card is also a great omen if you're asking about a creative project you're working on. Alternatively, it can herald good news or a new start for your children. The additional meanings with this card is that it's time for you to show the world what you've got. It's time for you to shine your light. Have some pride. Spoil yourself. You've earned it. Something as a Leo person I often forget to do, but Leos love to be spoiled. It's healthy for Leo rising, sun, moon, stellium people to be spoiled, even to spoil themselves every now and again. Another meaning for this card is that you've turned someone's head. Leo is the sign of the big and brave-hearted lion, of pride and showmanship and flirting. The energy around the new moon in Leo, and therefore around this card whenever we happen to pick it, is hot and generous. The energy loves itself, and so should you. If you've been too much of a wallflower, this new moon card comes as a reminder that you need to be proud of who you are. Oh, how lovely is that? So we're moving from Libra to Scorpio, rising sun, moon, even a stellium in Scorpio, and we have pulled the supermoon card. Emotions are running high. This card suggests that the answer to whatever you are asking is written large like the silvery full moon set against the velvet night sky. If you're wondering how successful something's going to be, such as a job or a relationship, well, the answer is very. To use common parlance, the answer to your question may well be that it's under your nose. This card is about being larger than life, being special and bursting with energy that you can tune into and work with. You can expect plenty of good things and a positive outcome when this card comes up, but you may find there's a lot of emotion to deal with too. There's also a sense that the opportunities around whatever you're asking about, they don't come along every day, so take action. The additional meanings for this card, a resolution to your question is closer than you may think. Don't ignore the obvious. Something exciting lies ahead. Make sure you don't blow events out of proportion. Speak to the goddess, the lunar goddess. Ask her for assistance. And the teaching with this card is a supermoon is a new moon or a full moon that takes place when the moon is at its closest point to the Earth during its monthly orbit, an event known as perigee. If it's a full moon and the moon appears around 14% bigger at this time, the moon is known as the queen of emotions, and if you draw the supermoon card, regardless of when we do this, you can expect that your feelings will be more highly charged now. Sagittarius, the final fire sign, rising sun, moon, or stellium, as I said. This is the full moon in Taurus card for you this week. What's its message? It's that your dreams need a practical plan. Sometimes you need to weave a bit of magic, and sometimes you need to be practical, and sometimes you need to find a combination of the two. This card suggests that this is where you are now. You need to use the laws of attraction to draw in what you want by imagining it, expecting it, welcoming it, but you need to balance that with taking down to earth steps towards your goals. This isn't about wishing on the moon and hoping for the best. It's about making something like a list of bullet points about how to achieve your dreams. If you're asking about money, this card heralds a change of financial fortunes depending on both your past actions and what you're expecting, and therefore what you're attracting. The additional meanings for this card, laziness could explain your current situation, and if that's so, change that and own it. Chasing money doesn't work. You need to chase a dream. Jealousy or envy create negative energy and attract negativity. More exercise is called for. The teaching with this card is that the full moon in Taurus is a time to get back to earth, to get grounded and to work through any negative feelings you've been dealing with, and to find a balance between being passionate and being overly intense. Money issues may come to a head at the time of the full moon in Taurus, but you can take this card as a sign to pay more attention to your cash flow no matter when you draw this card. Moving along, we've got who are we up to? Capricorn energy, the full moon in Libra card. There we go. Two full moons governed by the planet Venus, one after the other. Very, very interesting. So for Capricorn, a win-win outcome is forecast. The full moon in Libra is the sign of partnership, of falling in love, and of closely relating to someone else. Since full moons are about climaxes and conclusions, this card suggests that you're either about to start a new relationship or that an important existing relationship is changing somehow, perhaps coming to an end or moving to a new level of commitment. It's important to remember that people come to us for a reason and sometimes just for a season. If a relationship is ending now, it's doing so at the right time, so try not to fight it. This card can also refer to a professional relationship. There is a sense that you need to balance your ego with someone else's needs. A win-win outcome is possible with give and take. Doing so might be the answer to your question. Additional meanings for this card are: see the other person through the eyes of love. It will change your perspective. It's time for you to make a firm decision, Capricorn. It's time for you to focus on yourself for a while. Look after yourself, but avoid vanity. Now is a great time for a makeover. And the teaching with this card, no matter when you pull the full moon in Libra card, it encourages you to find a balance between your desires and those of the people around you. Balance is a very Libran energy, and the full moon brings things to a peak. Dramas and upsets bring partnerships to the fore. Libra energy also brings love energy. Negotiations are easier. Aquarius, rising sun, moon, stellium in Aquarius. We're looking here at the waxing moon card. What a pretty card this one is. So this energy is gaining momentum. During the waxing moon cycle, hope springs eternal. This card is a very positive omen, indicating that you can create the reality you're dreaming of, though it will take some work, and you're not quite there yet, Aquarius. This is a time of energies rising up. Emotions are building too. Where do you want to go, and do you believe that you can get there? Either you can just keep meditating and focusing on your desired outcome, or you can make the courageous commitment to take more practical steps towards your goals. Whichever you decide, you're most certainly on the right track. The additional meanings for this card are that the situation is full of potential. Your dream can come true. More effort is yet required. Are you willing to give it? Review your goals and ensure you're still committed. Keep moving forwards. The teaching with this card is that the waxing cycle is the period of the lunar cycle from the new moon to the full moon, and during this time the moon appears to be slightly bigger and rounder every night. This is a very empowered and empowering time, and it's a very promising card. It suggests now is the time to make plans and to act on them, no matter when we pull the card, whether there's a waxing moon or not. Finally, patient, ever patient Pisces has pulled the new moon in Aquarius card. We only had 2 new moon cards in this read, so that's very interesting. There's about 5, I think, full moon cards here, so maybe that's indicating that above all, for all of us, not just Pisces, but well, not Pisces at all, but you know, for everybody, we're reaching a fruition time in some way. But for Pisces specifically, we have the new moon in Aquarius card. Bring love into the situation. Aquarius is all about progress and modernity, so this is the time to move forwards. The new moon in Aquarius card means no looking back. Change is on its way, and it could come quickly. Whether you get the change you want depends both on whether you believe you can have it and how much you're relying on others to bring it to you. This card comes with the suggestion that you may need to do things independently on your own. But be loving, not too pragmatic. Time may be of the essence when this card comes up. Aquarius energy has an electric field to it. Certainly there is a sense that you need to let go of the past and move towards your future as soon as possible. The additional meanings for this card: you need to be more detached from the situation. Thinking outside the box will bring the solution. More pragmatism is called for. Improve your karma, Pisces, by doing some charitable work. The teaching with the new moon in Aquarius card is that Aquarius is the sign of invention, modern advances and technology and humanity. Its energy is a little brittle. It's individual, scientific even, and relatively emotionally detached. Many people think Aquarius is a water sign because the Aquarius symbol is the water bearer, but it's actually an air sign and is far more about intellect than the emotional water signs. It's as is this card, no matter when you draw it. Dropping convention works well with this energy. Just on the image of the water bearer, the connection to Aquarian energy is that the wave component of what is coming out of the vase that the water bearer is carrying, or the pail that the water bearer is carrying. Wave energy is Aquarian energy. Microwaves, nano waves, waves of energy. I'm trying to think of other waves, escaping me right now. So it's more about the wave energies. The age of Aquarius will be about wave energies as opposed to water. So interesting correlation there. Anyhow, that is our Moonology deck Oracle card read for the week ahead. May it be a blessed week for everyone. Thank you for joining me for the Oracle card read, and I'll have another one for you, another Oracle card read with a different deck next week. I'll catch you then.